How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with episode 2 of Meet the Gamers, and today's guest is another one of the GBG boys. And actually, if I remember correctly, the originator, the OG, who was, if not the founder, definitely helped bring it to fruition of Grocery Bag Gaming. It is Hammetfrk, ladies and gentlemen. Hammetfrk, how's it going, man?
It is going very well. I'm exhausted because we have a new puppy, which I'll send you some pics. She's asleep right now, but I'll send you some pics later so you can use her as clickbait, which is totally fine by me. I tell everyone to just use her. Like if you're around me, you're single. Take a little snap video, make it your story. Now all the honeys hit you up like, "Oh my god, is that your puppy? Is that your puppy?" And just go ahead and tell them like, "Sure, it's my puppy. You want to come see it?" I'll totally lend her out for
and
that
then
kind of
and then
thing.
by the time they get there, she's not there, and it's too late. The honeys are already in your Venus
You
flytrap, and then
exactly,
they're
exactly.
the true wingman of all wing men, Hammetfrk.
And, and I don't even have to do anything either, man. Just give her the puppy.
Just
If
take a
anything,
picture.
that's a break for me,
Just
honestly.
a picture of the dog. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, to get right down into things, the name is Hammetfrk. That is not your
Hmm.
government name, but I feel
It
like
might
we
as
have
well be.
I feel like we have to address where did this come from? Where is the Hammetfrk origin story start?
So it's really like it's one of those names that people always have trouble with. I get called Hammer like all the time from random people online, but I don't know if you could tell, I'm a heavy metal fan, right? So when I came up with this, it was my gamer tag for Xbox. I finally had to come up with a name, and I was really getting into like Metallica at that point. This is like I'm 13, 14 at this point.
As everyone is.
Yeah, exactly. So I was obsessed with Metallica, and their guitar player's name was Kirk Hammett. And I was like, "Oh, that guy's awesome. I'm a Hammett freak. Like, I love that guy because in my mind, like he's like the greatest guitar player ever, or whatever." And I just kind of shortened it down, and it became Hammetfrk, misspelled because it's got one T, and his name technically has two T's. So that's where it came from. I know it's one of those weird names. There is a story, but it's not really all that exciting.
Well, I feel like the legacy that you have created with Hammockford has transcended and taken on a new life and made it even better.
Let's hope so.
At least from the origin story into where we're at now. It's
That's
only
true.
gone uphill, right?
That's true. It was like a someone who had a trash KD on Modern Warfare 2. They were like it was like point 0.4 or something to a Counter Strike nut right here.
Well, if so, you say you started in Call of Duty. Where is that like? Where did gaming start for you? Is that one of your earliest, or were you like an OG before the Call of Duties got big?
I mean, like so I played Call of Duty when it was still like World War II story. Like it was all about the campaign and stuff. It wasn't the like, multiplayer was just now coming out. But I really like I started young because like I remember my dad we watching him play on the computer. He would play the Star Wars The Phantom Menace video game, which is a terrible game, but is so much fun. I still love that game, mostly for the nostalgia factor. I'd watch him play Outlaw Golf. I don't know if you remember Outlaw Golf, where if you did poorly, you had the option to like abuse your caddy. So like there was a fat guy who would like roll over the caddy and flatten him, or I think you could play as Satan, and he would disappear and then reappear after the caddy like fainted or died or something. I remember watching those, and then it kind of went into like we had like a PlayStation 2. I think was our first console. Me and my brother's first console. Played uh, a lot of movie games. My parents were kind of strict on what content we could absorb. we didn't play rated M games right off the bat, like some people could. We could play GTA when we were 14, so we'd play like a lot of movie games. Guitar Hero was a huge thing for me. I've spent a lot of time on Guitar Hero. It's what made me pick up a guitar in the first place. Then we had a GameCube, a lot of great underrated games like Super Monkey Ball 2 was one that comes to mind.
Absolutely.
Custom Robo was one that was really cool. Your Pokemons, of course, your Coliseum and your XD.
XD, right in the
XD,
nostalgia, bro.
yeah, XD is fantastic.
Such a great
Uh,
concept. Just don't give me a choice of starters. Just give me an Eevee and then let me pick my
there you go.
Evolution.
Exactly. And the music is fantastic.
True.
Like all of it was so. I'm assuming it's because I was like growing up at the time and just now absorbing all this stuff. Like when you're little, your life is like go to school, come home, and like play your video games, and then go to bed and repeat basically. So I don't know if it's the being young factor that makes all these stand out really well, or if gaming just really has changed over the years. Which I mean, obviously it has, but there's a whole conversation about uh, huge AAA titles doing experimental things as opposed to what they know is just going to make them money, or filling their games up with microtransactions, stuff like that. Um, the Star Wars games are a really good example of that kind of thing where used to you'd have these huge awesome Star Wars games. uh Rogue Squadron games, that series was one of my favorites growing up. It was really neat. You got to play all these like extra Star Wars lore things, or you could do movie scenes, like you could fly through the trench of the Death Star. And you had like your Battlefronts and your Republic Commandos, your galaxies, like all kinds of different stuff. And they would all be really cool, different things. But nowadays, now that, well, I guess not anymore, but EA having the rights to put out Battlefront and just make it a microtransaction machine is kind of sad.
Yeah. It's like you look at what's funny is like looking at those games once they release on like other platforms. So like I got
Hmm.
Battlefront 2 on the Epic Store for free a while back.
Hmm.
And like I'm so scared to open the game like because it's just the base game to see like how
Yeah.
little there is compared to how much is
Yeah.
actually in the game now with all of the DLCs and
Exactly.
microtransactions.
Because I'm the same way. I play Battlefield 4 fairly often, and like I still only have the base game, and it's like, hey, if you want to play that playlist, maybe go ahead and spend that $15 for this, 8-year-old game. Come on, you want to,
That's another thing.
you want to.
When you think about it, it's like games go on sale and like they'll decrease in price with age, but the DLCs, it doesn't matter how old the game is, it's still $15.
Exactly. You
$15. You want this
you.
one map and 3 new weapons that came out 10 years ago? $15.
It's so like because I love like the original zombies in World at War Call of Duty. And now it's like I remember like Black Ops 2, where they come up with all these extra maps, and the trailers made them look so cool. And 16-year-old me is like, oh, dude, but I couldn't couldn't go out and just buy. I didn't have a credit card or anything, so I couldn't just buy it. So seeing that how it's still kind of like that is kind of annoying. You'd think there should be like a cutoff of time where it's like, okay, look, this game doesn't really have a chance of making money anyway. Let's just list it all for, super cheap.
Yeah.
You
30
get the base
bucks for
game for
4
free.
DLCs or
Yeah, exactly.
20 30 bucks for every DLC in a bundle or something.
Exactly.
But they're dude, them titles they're gonna squeeze and just get every drop of currency they can.
Every cent, and they prey on those poor parents who don't know what's going on, and their kid gets a hold of their credit card and just doesn't just. It's so easy, just buy, and before you know it, they like that's the real prey of those kind of practices. And I only say that because my wife's youngest brother, adopted brother's like 11, 12 right now, and when he was like 9 or 10, he did that with his mom's phone. They had a game on there, and he just kept clicking buy, 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 and ran him up like a $1,200
Mm.
bill. It was her her dad was not happy about that.
But bro, you got to get rid of those ads on those mobile
You
games,
yeah,
man.
those moments you got to get those extra lives. You can't wait for them to come
True.
back. You know
True. Who has 30 minutes to wait to regen a life, bro?
exactly, exactly.
All right. Well, you talked about early on with the GameCube and being
Mhm.
your first console. Well, what would you say? No particular genre, no like drawbacks or anything. Favorite game, like as many or as little as you want. Go.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. Shadow of the Colossus comes to mind.
Okay.
I played that when it came out on PlayStation 2. I had a you remember demo discs?
Ah,
You remember those
yes.
were a thing? I had a demo disc that had the first boss of Shadow of the Colossus on there. I used to know exactly which one it was, but I can't find it anymore. But I'll have to check again. But it had that demo on it, and everything about it was so cool to me. Fighting a giant monster. So I got the real game, and there's just the way it was the first time I'd ever thought of video games as a form of art, just because of how like it was something really special. Just the what you could tell there was a lot of care and thought put into how that game was constructed. It's just like the way like it's had two or three remakes at this point because it's just so good that people want to play with like the updated graphics and stuff. That's one of the favorites. Um, yeah, Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1
Ooh, Big Red
comes to
1.
mind. Um, that was the first like I think that was my first exposure to war games as a whole. And my father, the way he was he tried to turn a lot of things into lessons. So like the first time we watched Saving Private Ryan, he was like, "Now, like this happened." Like he was making a point with it, type of thing. So he did that with Call of Duty because he would actually sneak into our room in the middle of the night when we're asleep and play on the PlayStation because it was in our room, mine and my brother's room.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I finally got to play it, and like I think it's that game that the one of many that had a D-Day level,
Mhm.
and playing that and thinking like, whoa, people actually like went through this was kind of like different, but at the same time, it was it's a video game and you're like a teenager, so it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
You got guns and there's
Yeah,
just
you
all
don't
this
you don't
stuff
fully
happening.
grasp it, but there's still something like that sits with you about it.
Yeah, there's like a gravity to it that came with it. That was a good one. Super Monkey Ball 2 was just one that I had that not a lot of people were aware of. To this day, not a lot of people are aware of that franchise, even though it's just so much fun. Um, oh gosh, what else?
You're
Lego Racers
Ooh.
was a big one.
Okay.
Uh, that Lego Racers 1 and 2. 2 was open world, which
Ah.
really took the series in a fresh direction, I think. They need to do another one. Lego was another franchise that used to have just a ton of games to go to. Uh, then Lego Star Wars happened,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
they all went franchised like games, and now like there's just I don't know. Lego original Lego stuff is just not something you see anymore. They used to
Mm.
have their own. I had the Lego Rock Raiders video game, which was like an RTS type resource gathering game.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it was an old Lego property that they made, and the
Huh.
whole thing was like they had these huge cool drill mechs that like gather ore and resources and all this stuff. It was super cool. Uh, Lego Island was super cool. Just a bunch of cool original Lego things. Bionicle games,
Ooh, I had one of those for the Wii.
the Mask of Light, like all the Bionicle games were really
Yeah.
cool. And again, I don't know if this is me being like a young one who is like, "Oh, I have Bionicle. I want to play Bionicle," uh, or if it was actually that good or not.
Oh yeah.
Also, got to give a shout out to Space Cadet 3D Pinball,
Oh, absolutely.
of course, Minesweeper,
Yep.
etc.
Spider Solitaire.
Yep, exactly. Even though I didn't know what I was doing, I was having fun doing it. Oh, and there's one more. There was an Army Man RTS game. The 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 franchise Army Man, the green plastic guys.
Okay.
There was a RTS game where you had to like command battalions of soldiers, and you had to go fight the tan armies or
Of
the
course.
blue armies. And there was one. They had these cutscenes that were honestly pretty unsettling. I'm not gonna lie, but there was one that had zombies were involved, and the zombies were made of like parts of different colored like army men.
That
So
would
they
that
like
would mess me up as a kid.
they like hobble in and their arm is like part green, part blue, part tan, and their head is like gray and green. Like it was really kind of
Ugh.
scary.
Yeah,
It
that
was kind of
uh-uh.
scary as a kid. Oh, but that was a fun game too. I wasted a lot of time on that game.
Nice.
You'd be on the countertop and roaches would come at you and you'd walk onto the stove and make it walk over the heating element and it would catch on fire.
Naturally.
Yes.
All right. Well, those are some classics, obviously. Some niche games, I will say that. A few of them are kind
Yeah.
of niche. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting, but we have skipped over one that I feel like needs to be talked about, and that is
Oh, hit with it.
the legacy of that is CS:GO.
Oh, of course, Counter Strike. Well, I got into Counter Strike late. I love Counter Strike. I want to preface this with I love Counter Strike. I don't know why. Uh, like it, I hated it when I first started playing it. Mega Seed got me to download it because I got it in the Valve pack on Steam,
Okay.
which came with like let me look. It had all the Half Life 2 stuff, Deathmatch Classic, Day of Defeat. What else? What else was on here? Some Ricochet, like really old Valve, like niche Valve
I was about to
titles.
say it's a niche that have since fizzled out.
Right. So Portal, the Portal games were on there, which
Okay.
was the main reason I got it because I love the Portal series. I played the first two like when they came out. Um, but yeah, Counter Strike. I don't know, something changed and clicked with me one day. It was probably after like a good comp game, and I was just like, "This game is amazing." Like, it's simple. It's in concept, it's very simple, but the just like the skill ceiling is so high. It's really fun to watch pro games, which I do.
Absolutely.
Like, anytime there's a tournament going on that I'm aware of, I'll usually be watching it at work. Like while I'm working, I'll have my phone propped up with the Blast Spring series just got done, and I was watching most of that while I was at work. So like I don't know what it is about counter. God knows I've invested enough
I
into
was
it to
about to
where I've got
say,
to keep
as
playing it.
of like recent history, your luck with the cases have been decent, to say the
Yeah,
least.
yeah. My first pull ever was a downhill slide. I opened a case and got minimal wear Pandora's box sport gloves, and I immediately sold them on the Steam marketplace. This was 2019, 2020, probably 2019, which was a dumb idea because they were worth way more than I listed them for. But Steam has a limit of how much you can list things for.
Oh,
But I sold them immediately for like half price. I got like $1,500 for them. They were worth like
dude, whoever
32.
bought those was so happy.
Absolutely they were. But at that point I didn't care because I was like, well, the Steam is going to be the most safe way to do it. I don't want to use a third party site because that was real scary. I didn't want to get scammed or hacked or anything. But I used the funds and I got all the boys some knives, so that was fun. That was
Still
cool.
have mine.
Yeah, I think you and Mega, I think, are the only ones that still have yours. I know Ricky sold his for something, and then
Yeah.
Will Will has something, but he got rid of his original one.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
but yeah, Counter Strike is so good.
it really is. And it is what one of the first games that got the boys, as we just call ourselves, got some
Mhm.
of the boys together once I say we, since when the majority kind of like dipped from Paladins, because I know
Yeah,
I was fully sold on Paladins, and that is how I got Jazz into it. That's how we met Mega. And
yeah,
then Mega dipped, Ricky dipped, Will and you, I think, were late to the
yeah.
party, so y'all
We were
never
late to the
really
party.
got into it as much as we did. And then CS:GO was the next, like, all five of us can play together at one time. And
Yes.
then once that happened, we were like, well, we've got to have a team.
Oh, of
And
course.
even if it's not going to be the next esports org, we're going to be the next meme sports org. And
Exactly.
and as you can see behind me, this is
Yes.
what transpired out of it. So I said in the intro that I'm pretty sure that you were the founder or like one of the first to come up with the idea for grocery bag gaming. And even to this day, I don't fully remember how we came up with that name, but what do
I
you remember from that?
I think it revolved from trash bag gaming or garbage bag gaming. I want to say that's where it came from. I'm pretty sure it was a collaborative thought process that ended up becoming grocery bag gaming.
It all
I know
revolved
like
around a receptacle of being not
yeah,
good at
exactly.
games.
Exactly. And then like Race came up with a little he did a cool little graphic design with like a paper bag. Like it looked pretty good. Just like as a logo, but not as like an esports style logo.
Hmm.
So then we got the commission done, and that was
In the black hole that could be a pot of gold or a Pandora's box that is known as Fiverr.
exactly. Which
And
Fiverr I got a guy to do my logo on my stream, which I never stream anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, Fiverr is a wonderful place if you need some quick
if you can
graphic
find the
design
right
done.
people, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, we got the GBG mantra started, and we've got the logo. I have my logo splashed all over different stream scenes and
yeah, yeah.
in different YouTube stuff, thumbnails. All of our GBG videos have it somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
Which I really hope we do another Counter Strike video soon. It's just so much fun. Whenever everyone's in the right mood for it, it's just so much fun to play together.
Yep.
Whereas because it's such a competitive game, I know a lot of people get really frustrated at the game because they might not be doing well or
And
like a
that's happened in our sessions before where we
yeah,
go in with the mindset of, all right, we're gonna have fun and just play the game. And literally within 4 rounds, we're just like not speaking unless it's
yeah.
call outs and
It can get pretty rough. It's a hurdle a lot of people have to get over when playing a game like this. Is like, look, it's competitive, yes, but don't take it too seriously, or you are
oh
going
yeah.
to be miserable. You're not device like you're not simple. You're not going to be uh, all this crazy stuff. You may have played like a Call of Duty or something before. It's not the same thing.
Not at all.
So
If you're
don't
shooting,
expect
don't
that.
move. Take your
Eh,
hand
uh,
off of keyboard.
exactly. Like it's And I used to the funny thing is, like, when back in the Xbox 360 days, Call of Duty, like, multiplayer, I would never even come close to touching search and destroy, even though that's all Counter-Strike basically is, that
Yep.
same game mode. I hated that when I was playing, Xbox 360,
Oh yeah,
Xbox
it's one
One.
of those things. It's like, why would I play a game mode where I don't get to play if I die?
Yeah, it felt so, like, try hard to me, like, all these guys would sit with the intervention. They'd prone in a corner of the map and just snipe and it didn't seem like fun, but I don't know, just Counter Strike just did something different. I wish it was something I got into like back in the original the source days even or just original Counter Strike. Um, yeah, it's such a good game.
And I think
I
the
love it
last,
so
like,
much.
I know for sure the last time we played, I made a video out of it. But just getting, like, for me, it's just fun to get the guys together because with all of us having either school or jobs or like
Yeah,
families and like
puppies.
classes and just different stuff going on, it's tough to get us all together to play. So in that like once a month period where we all have a free evening and
Yes.
can play, it's super fun to get together and just talk and catch up for sure.
If nothing else, just talk and catch up or meme around. Like I know we'll do the meme rounds of all right, everybody buy a Tech 9 and let's get a flash and go to B and don't stop.
Absolutely. And then I think you coined this term, or you were the first person that I had heard about it or heard it from, was the thought of like silver surfing, which is just we know
Yes.
we're not grinding to like
We're not global
LEM or
reach here.
anything.
We're not
We're just chilling
crazy.
in silver. Like we're just hanging
Yeah.
out and playing games.
And that can, you get some really fun random teammates sometimes. Most of the time you don't, but that's okay. The good ones in between make it worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And that kind of leads me to the fact, or speaking of like silver surfing and you not necessarily
Mhm.
grinding ranked in that game, so to speak, we both have had our fair share of casting, and we
Yes.
both enjoy casting. So,
Yes.
what all have you? I'll let you take the lead here because I know what we've cast together. But what all, in your eyes, have you had the opportunity to cast, and What was your favorite cast to date?
Well, honestly, the only time I have casted is with you. I've I got an offer a couple of times, but none of them worked out schedule wise. They were very like last minute. Like, hey, I need you at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's like, well, it's Wednesday. I work
Yeah.
during the week. Like, I can't do that, unfortunately. It's like, but if you need someone, like, in the evenings during the weekends, let me know. Uh, but like doing stuff for MSU esports with you, like we did the Bully Land and we did the second Egg Bowl.
Yep.
Those are so much fun. Just because the atmosphere of those smaller like collegiate events are really positive and fun experiences because everyone's kind of like being in Mississippi, esports is not exactly like on it a lot of people's radar. It's a very football, baseball heavy area. So people who are all in esports are kind of on the same page of like, like yeah, we'll be competitive, but like it's just great to be doing what we are passionate about, and like in a competitive and like uh promotional positive setting, because like there's nothing like it whenever you, especially like being at the I remember the first Egg Bowl, was it the first Egg Bowl at,
In Oxford, yeah.
no, it was the first one in Oxford, it was the second one that was in Starkville, where the last deciding game was Smash, it was Super
Oh
Smash
yeah.
Brothers,
Oh yeah.
and, it was the most hype thing ever because, it was 7 best out of 7 entire games, 7 sets of games, and it was tied 3-3 going into Smash, and it was like a rotating system where if you lost all your stock,
It was crew
you
battles.
yeah, you get replaced by it, and it was so crazy. Like I didn't necessarily have a horse in the fight. I didn't go to either school, but like obviously I was working for state at that point. But like just having it go get down to the wire like that was is honestly that's something really special. That was such a fun and cool thing to happen.
Man, just thinking about that, I just every time is chills. It doesn't even
It's
matter who
goosebumps.
won. Just being a part of it
Exactly. It's
it's
goosebumps.
awesome.
It's so cool. I can't wait for it to come back
Oh yeah.
in its previous form.
Thanks, COVID.
Yes, for real.
But I do think we're slowly getting in the right, like moving in the right direction at least. Vaccines are widely available and we're slowly getting there. I know even the esports orgs like Valorant's having its first big LAN coming up, so we're
Which
slowly getting there.
ought to be fun and interesting. I wish I could cast more CS. I haven't done anything like officially for
Mm,
CS, but that is the game. Like obviously, in case no one noticed, that is the game that is like number one for me at this point. Even though I'm not necessarily like good at it, but I like watching it is something else. I feel pretty confident in my ability to what's the word? Uh, Intelligently cast a Counter Strike video game. Yeah,
yes.
let's go with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Signed, sealed, delivered, ship it.
yeah, there you go.
Well, as we do come towards the end of our
Mhm.
episode, show, interview, I don't really know what I'm calling this, our endeavors here
Okay.
this evening. So, we talked a little bit about your gaming, and casting as well. But who are you watching content-wise? Whether it be YouTube, Twitch, or whatever platform it be on, who are you consuming on a regular basis?
It feels like it changes on a day to day basis because I pay attention to a lot of different things. Like I play music and I'm very interested in a lot of musical circles. Clip obviously video games and stuff. One guy I've been really liking recently is he's called Pokemon Challenges.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
big Pokemon fan, as you know most people my age probably are. Uh, I'm actually playing a ROM hack right now called Radical Red that's very difficult, and it's so much fun to think outside of just, oh, I'm just gonna beat down the other Pokemon trainer until I win. Like that's always been my go-to because the mainline games aren't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
difficult games. So that's been really fun. But watching this guy Pokemon challenges the self-proclaimed best Nuzlocker in the world is really fun because it's like a level of knowledge of Pokemon that is just beyond me in terms of like knowing like being able to count certain things like moves and whatnot, knowing the ins and outs of your IVs and EV training, like the competitive side, plus the fact that you risk everything going into every battle. Doing a Nuzlocke is really fun to watch him like work through. So that's a guy I like watching. Um, I recently started watching a lot of the completionists. Uh, not like my favorite YouTuber or anything, but it's really neat to see someone who will his job is to sit down and 100% go through every like any game he plays. He's going to do everything there is to do in it and get every achievement, every unlockable, et cetera, and then chronicle like was it worth it? Was it fun? Etc. You know things like that. That's somebody I've been watching recently. A lot of stupid meme compilations.
Why you and Jazz both, man? The
I don't
memes.
know why they come up in my suggestion and I'm like, yeah, I can watch one or two. Before I know it, I'm like an hour in and I'm just watching the dumbest things I've ever seen, but they're super funny, so it kind of makes it worth it. Um, yeah, that's mostly it. Just in terms of because right now a lot of my attention is just focused on playing Pokemon Radical Red at
Feel that.
work when
Feel.
I'm not busy.
We're gonna scrub that from the video. Hammetfrk's employers, please don't come for him right now. I'm not liable for this.
My
Uh,
manager doesn't mind, but I'm sure her higher ups do. So
that's fair. That's fair.
so
At least
go
the
with that.
immediate higher up, the manager doesn't mind. So that's
It
good. That
doesn't.
counts.
It does not interfere with my job whatsoever. I'm still a fantastic customer service guy.
There you go. There we go. And that's what matters. Well, before we head out of here, Hammett for Steve,
Uh
my
huh.
friend, shout yourself out wherever you would like the people to find you. Let them know what the socials are, and we'll definitely have them in the link or in the description. The links in the description of this
Oh,
video.
pretty much everything's just Hammetfrk. That's worth looking at anyway. Is Hammetfrk. I've hardly used social media. I'm really bad at uh advertising things for myself because I'm not really doing anything. Uh,
But
but
now that you have your puppy, that's going to change.
Uh,
Maybe.
we'll see. I've got pictures. I just haven't gotten around to posting anything. I don't want to be that guy either. You know, like oh god, another puppy post. Oh god, another thing. Like so, but we'll see. I'm sure no one would mind a puppy picture here and there.
That's fair.
I'll send you one again if you want to use it for the thumbnail.
I'm gonna have to hit you up for that. We'll see. We'll see
Okay.
what my brain comes up with. But Steve, I do appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time out. I know we're both kind of tired. We did wait until like late to do this because time management I don't think is either one of our strong suits.
Hey, we'll
But
do anything for the content over here,
hey,
right?
content
Anything for the
machines out
content.
here,
Exactly.
grocery bag gaming's finest. But I do again want to say thank you for taking the time out. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what games you like playing. Is Steve have a good taste in games or not? Also, let me know of anyone that you want to maybe see in this. I still have a list of people that I'm going through, but once I get through that initial list, I will be reaching out and branching out to other creators and people that I know or maybe I don't know, depending on how much love this gets. So thank y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Be sure to show Steve some love. Again, his links are in the description. I appreciate y'all. Hope to see y'all really soon. Peace.